Okay.
All right.
Hopefully.
We'll check this out here.
That should be good.
All
right.
We'll find out.
Yes, we'll find out in a few minutes.
We'll do the big, hello and welcome to the second part of the same show. I am your host, John Edwardson, joined as always by my lovely wife, Stacy.
Hello.
And we just found out what happens when you don't adhere to normal practices. So if I don't talk about my lovely wife, Stacy, then you're going to have a bad stream.
Yes.
Or if you have a wife that opens up 9,000 screens.
Well, I like to be ready, but apparently I overloaded. Oh, look, Michelle says it's moving now. So that's good.
Yeah, that is
this
good.
This is good.
that is very good. So we think we found it. We pay for we pay for God quality internet.
Yes, we have to. Oh my goodness.
The business internet. The business. We also are hardwired with some kind of Godzilla cord that's like 1,000 feet or something. We are, just full on studio ready, and we had to do that because when we were doing Spaced Out Radio, you can't have live terrestrial radio go screwy. So
right.
Just make sure, everything's cool. So these are the wonderful things that you guys can tell the other people that come along in a year or so to the live streams and be like, Michelle can be like, oh, you know what? You guys are so green, you don't even know. You just don't know. I remember back when they would freeze up and
they were just starting this live stream.
Back when we did Haunted South, when we were doing Haunted South in 2010 through 2014, you talk about fun.
Right.
There's entire shows that never made the catalog because they were live and then something happened and they blew up.
Well, the thing with those live shows is we had somebody in the booth doing the technical stuff. Yeah. And see, here we're doing the technical stuff. So.
Yeah, which
and
for now I might hire a new one. So let's talk about some of this cool stuff. We were talking about the Batman trailer, okay?
Right.
And the whole thing was I was making fun of Mr. Sparkly Vampire himself. Everybody was kind of like, I don't know if that guy's gonna be any good or not.
Actually, before we ended the other stream, I believe Raven, who was watching, agreed with you that she thought he would be great.
Yeah.
He had really good serious roles.
Yeah, it's let's see here.
I personally am a huge fan of Twilight. I don't care to say it. I like the books is the thing. I really like the books.
Oh God, you're one of those.
I like the books a lot better than the movie. Well, you can get a lot more emotion out of the book. It's easier to describe things than it is to have actors and actresses hopefully portray that on screen. So, it's hard to portray emotions sometimes if you have the same facial expression all the time.
Yeah. So. It's like, Jim Ross. I understand. Oh, you don't mean like the Bell's palsy kind of same face.
No. But I do like the movies. I've been rewatching them. Prime has them right now, the extended editions. So I've been sort of rewatching them.
Yeah, she has.
Well, sometimes I'm just sitting around working on my computer and I like to have something going on in the background.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you're just watching Twilight to watch Twilight.
Sometimes.
And, I get it. I totally get it. All right. Sorry, why don't you entertain the folks for just a second while I'm doing this?
What shall I entertain them with? I have no idea. So why don't we go over our cons again? How's that?
No.
Don't go over the cons again?
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to drive people away from the cons if we do that. Okay. All right, I'm done. I was just opening the link back up, and this is going to be all really nicely put together when we get this
Eventually, yes.
Yeah. And yes, everybody is going to know who you are, Michelle. You're like that secret person, extra member of the band there. So, and it's funny because, like I said, we get a lot of downloads, man. The podcast is in tens of thousands of downloads when we drop one. Okay. And the funniest thing about that is there's a lot of people who have no idea about YouTube, about us doing this. Right. And especially about us doing this and, like this. So I think it's funny. We'll have to definitely give a better intro for this version, and then kind of slide in. We'll probably mix it probably where we go to the news. So I doubt they're going to hear any of this.
probably.
I can't do that. I can't put that. I'm not that treacherous that I'm going to put that up as a podcast.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to redo the beginning for them. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to the list and all that stuff. But yes, I see the con. I love that too. But all right. So where are we going?
I thought you had a list.
Well, I do have a list, and it's pretty frightful, man.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. But hey, you interrupted me twice, so let me get this out.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the Batman,
right?
Which the trailer was fantastic, and I mean just amazing. I only watched it though like 45 times.
Is that all?
Somewhere around. Well, it had a real cool version of Something in the Way by Nirvana, and that's one of those songs that's not, lyrically. I mean, it's basically something in the way like 50 times in a row, but man, there was just something about that trailer. Was just fantastic. Right. It was fantastic. So I was excited about that, and then of course the Wonder Woman 84 looks awesome. I've already thought that one looked great. We have some exciting new games coming, so that means I get to play some Batman games.
Yes.
The Flash, the Flash movie, just a bunch of stuff, man. Green Lantern's supposed to have a TV show. It's just really cool. If you haven't watched like the DC TV shows, you're really missing out. Right. Because they're all geared toward adults, and even the Harley,
usually really good.
The Harley Quinn cartoon is fantastic.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious.
Seriously, man, it's some really good stuff. But yes, the list. It is now time for us to do something a little dangerous and a little creepy, because we have a list that we're going to have to go through that's unlike most lists that we've done. It really is. This is a little bit different. And it's not that it's the absolute top ones, right, that I've ever seen. Right. It's some of the videos out there in the lore of the internet that have really, I don't know, they startled me the first time I saw them, and they still do so to this very day. They still get me. So I wanted to share some of those with you folks, and we're going to go through those, and we are going to count them down.
There's 8.
Yeah, so it's Stacy went back with the top 8 thing because she's in MySpace world. So it's the MySpace top 8 strange videos. Unexplainable videos. There you go. Of the internet. The top 8. That could be the MySpace list. Yeah. Okay. The MySpace top 8. Okay. Unexplainable videos of the internet. The interwebs. Starting out, man. This one. This one's pretty cool. It's witch's face in an abandoned house. This mysterious video was posted in 2014 by a man known only as Ted. Well, rumor is Ted likes to talk, but he claimed to have been a police officer since 1983. After responding to a domestic disturbance in Delray, Detroit, Ted says he heard some strange noises coming from a neighboring house, so he decided to take a closer look. As he approaches the house, which appears to be burnt out and abandoned, the officer pans the camera towards an old newspaper clipping before calling out to see if anyone is inside. Suddenly, a ghoulish face appears in the upstairs window before disappearing into the darkness. It is later revealed in the video that the article that the police officer found was about a woman named Rose Veras, who was known as the Witch of Delray. Veras was thought to have murdered 12 men in the 1930s. However, her neighbors were scared to testify against her, so they believed that she had supernatural powers that can make their children sick. And there was one that was going to testify because he really hated his kids, but something happened to him. They're not sure. No, that last part's just totally one of Stacy's falsities.
So I put this video on here, but I muted it because he talks through the whole video. Right. And I just wanted to, he walks around this whole house. It takes quite some time. So I got it here, and it's just really quick. It's so creepy, but then it slows it down. And you can just see that creepy, ghosty face. Ugh. It's crazy.
I like that. Can you make that sound again? Ugh. No, you had some bass in that.
And it does show, I know I did watch the video, and he is talking about the article, and he does claim that he tried to do more research on this and was not able to ever find anything definitive. And like he said, he is a cop, and he does talk about how, he tries to go on his gut feeling about things.
It looks like a ghoul on Supernatural.
And and that his gut feeling on this was telling him that, it was not good. There's something not good about, the location.
Not good.
Not good about the location. Yeah. So
not good is a nice way of saying that. Bob, I just think it's a little, a little peculiar, maybe. I don't know. So this next one, guys. All right, so this one is controversial. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's controversial is there is a pretty good debunking of it, okay? Mm-hmm. But it's from a skeptic, and you know how I feel about skeptics. It's good to have a skeptical mind.
Right,
But professional skeptics, I like to put a pool ball in a sock and find them in a dark alley. Because skeptics love getting gifts, and they're just like, oh, a pool ball and a sock for me, and they're just all excited to see what number the pool ball is. It's I don't know what you were thinking I was going to do with it, but so this is still one of my favorites, and here's the reason. I have to believe. Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. I have to believe this guy had a really nice camera out in the woods, and he was just taking pictures of Rover there, like, hey Rover, where are you gonna poo today, buddy? And and then Rover's like, and he's like, what was that? And he goes over and sees the levitating girl, right? And so the person that did, there was only one debunker. Like, I really wanted to find out how many debunks can I find, and yes, the thing is, can it be done? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, this can be done, but I don't care if it's fake. It's creepy, and it's cool, and we don't know for sure. Like the flying girl has never came out and been like,
I was flying.
Yeah,
it was a trick.
When I was 8 years old, I was part of a fraud, and all I could really do was turn men into newts. But
she's really in the Russian circus.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically the video was uploaded in YouTube in 2009. You could play it again there. It's is uploaded to YouTube in 2009. It was recorded by a man in Russia walking his dog through the woods. I thought that was a normal thing that Russian men did. Everything seems normal until the dog pauses for a moment as if something's wrong. It begins to bark and runs off down a trail. When the man catches up to his dog, he sees something startling. There is in the forest, a girl levitating in the air. It says as a friend watches on here, but I always thought that was like the teacher or the parent. It's like, okay, honey, here's how you do it. Once they realize they've been spotted, the two girls run out of sight. And again, I think that's to me, it looks like a mother, like teaching the daughter her magic, and it's like, okay, all right, Sarah, here's how it's going to be, and here's how you levitate, and
right
all that good stuff. It is invisible Bigfoot holding her up, Michelle. Damn it all. Thank you for that. This is some good stuff. So anyway, I love that video, and that video is one that has been around for a while, and like I said, this is some of my favorites, man. It's just some of my favorite unexplained, because it still is unexplained. You can have Peter W. Juju, that's Mr. I know how to explain all these things, and like Stacy famously said years ago on one of our documentaries, she's like, that we could debunk this, right? We could go through the whole thing, but I mean, what can't you do in Hollywood anymore?
Right. I mean, yes, it could be done and made to be done and whatever, but that doesn't mean that what you're seeing isn't real just because you can recreate it.
Right. So this next one, listen, this has got me for 11 years. All right. This is just, there's so much to this. And when you see this kind of phenomenon, it's happened a lot more since then. And sometimes this particular phenomena is a case of mistaken identity because of a rocket launch that goes awry, and something like that. But this is the Norwegian spiral, and that is not a sexual position for Vikings. On December 9th,
although you've given them an idea now.
On December 9th, 2009, The sky above northern Norway and Sweden was lit up by an enormous white spiral. The light came from behind a mountain, stopped in midair, and began to spiral outwards. The incident lasted for 10 minutes. All right, so obviously you can have something like this, probably not that perfect with a rocket, but
right,
it's, comrade, it's going inside. But no, this really was freaking cool, man. And everything at the time period when we were doing the show then too, or in the paranormal world, there was everything from maybe it was HARP to whatever, and I think even the rocket launches was one of the things there. But to me, it was always a portal, right? I always called it the portal video, like some kind of UFO making a portal to another dimension.
Well, I've never seen one this fantastic. Like even the ones they say a rocket went awry or whatever, they're not this big,
right,
or this perfect. Like normally they're a little wonky, or you can actually tell that there's a rocket there. But this one was just so unusual.
No, this is crazy. Even watching it right now, it's killing me. I absolutely love it. It's an amazing video, and is it a portal? I would like to think so. I mean, how do these UFOs get in this dimension to the next dimension? I mean, even if you're going more supernatural, man. I mean, maybe. These beings or whatever come in that way. I don't know. I love it. And, like I said, there's a lot of people these days, talk about the fact of being a rocket or something like that. That one, I agree. I don't see anything that could be.
Right.
I just don't know. I don't know what that could be. And yes, wormhole, portal, however you want to call it, I believe that's what was captured in the skies above Norway in 2009. And they can say what they want to say or whatever, but I firmly believe that's how a lot of this stuff's done. I mean, you look at some of the things that's happened, like just with our own experiments and stuff. I mean, we've proven that you can teleport, that it is possible, and we know basically the physics around time travel. It's just not having the flux capacitor, right? You got to be able to go that speed and have everything perfect and all this stuff. We'll get there. I'm pretty sure we'll get there on all this stuff, but that was just amazing. Like visually, I love looking at stuff that's just freaking amazing like that. And this one, you guys will probably remember this one, okay? I remember doing this one on our old show. But the thing that got me on this particular incident was the number of views that it had, right? Like different people seeing it. It's the Dome of the Rock UFO incident.
Right.
They say UFO. I mean, I don't know what it was. It could have been Jesus ordering a burger. I don't know. But at 1 a.m. on January 28, 2011, an unidentified flying object was seen floating in the sky above the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The object drops straight toward the landmark. It hovers for a minute, flashes a bright light, and then shoots back up into the sky. The UFO was filmed from 4 different perspectives. To make matters even stranger, flying over the Dome of the Rock, which is an ancient Islamic shrine, is expressly forbidden. And, I think a lot of people have done their best to, figure this one out or debunk it or whatever. The 4 different angles is always, it's just one of those, man. It's one of those that's in my mind. I think about it. Once you see it, you go back to that, and it's just really cool. You need, like, what's the significance with where it's at? If it's a fake, again, bravo. Will you please make some movies I can watch?
Yeah. So see, it comes down, and then I think it flashes, and then goes away. And one of the really strange things about this when this happened was it got picked up by a lot of news sites. It was all over the place. And everybody showed it. They were like, this weird thing, and it's unexplainable. And of course, now if you look it up, everybody's like, oh, this is a hoax. It's a hoax. Like, they're forcefully pushing the hoax.
Did they ever have anybody come out about it being a hoax?
No. And that was one of the things. Well, nobody's come out to say that they hoaxed it. But one of the reasons that they give that it's probably a hoax is that nobody came out to sell their story. So, nobody came out to say, look, I got this, and trying to sell the footage to, news stations or whatever. But then nobody
we probably bombed them.
actually came out to claim that they had hoaxed it or anything either.
It's been a lot of years, you know?
So I don't know. It's very strange. And these videos, there's supposedly 4 videos of it. And they were all posted at different times. And like you said, they're from different angles.
Yeah, but I mean, that could have been 4 people just getting together and just like, hey, let's do this. And then use some CGI, all this good stuff.
Right. Now, if you go and you watch these, there are people talking in the background. I did mute it because most of this footage that I found was on other people's videos where they're giving their own opinions.
See, that looks really cool.
Things. Yeah, so that one's a little closer up.
That looks really, really awesome. And this one's not shown quite as often. Usually it's the one the first angle that you've seen. And I mean, that's the same thing that happens on the other video. Exactly.
Yeah, I think the other video you don't see the flash quite as well, but I think it's because it's a different angle.
Yeah, but if you time them, if you play them side by side, it's happening at the same time. And that would be one of those attention to details that would be very difficult to get.
Right. And this one, people were always like, well, why would people just randomly be filming? But they're not really randomly filming. There's a thing going on there. There's people there, and it's like some kind of religious thing.
I would dare say somebody's filming that place 24 hours a day.
Probably. Look at that. Look how weird it looks. Like it's just
people.
This light anomaly. It's very strange. So see, this is, like I said, this video is someone giving their opinion about the videos.
He's right. There was no flash in that
There
one.
was not. But again, it's a different angle. Maybe the flash was only on the one side, or it was too bright to see it.
You should
maybe
have seen the flash, though. I think
you should have.
Well, you can't say that one.
That one was like super zoomed in. So
that was like Flash Dance.
I don't remember ever seeing that one. That one was super zoomed
either.
in. So, but yeah, so this video has all the different angles of it. But it's still very strange, and nobody's sufficiently explained it. I mean, just to say that it's a hoax, that's not really explaining,
right?
What it is. Like, how did they hoax it, or what did they do?
It's
not proof.
And here was the parameters I gave Stacy. I was like, I don't care. It's just some of my favorite videos. And I was like, if it's been, if someone would come out and prove it as a hoax, or it's been said it was a hoax or something like that, just give me that story too. I just want these videos because I really dig all these. And, I wanted to revisit them, to be honest with you. Now, here is probably one of my favorite things to ever happen. And my God, have I talked about it. I have talked about this so much because there's something going on, man. When they fired up the Large Hadron Collider, I think a lot of crap started happening, all right? I think that people started getting tinnitus in the ears, and I think that some weird stuff happened. I'm not so sure the world didn't end in 2012, and we're all just living in some weird freaking, something.
I mean, it's possible.
Look at everything that's happened since 2012.
Exactly.
Tell me that it couldn't be some weird purgatory we're in right now. But listen, man, CERN, they try to play this off like, oh my God. There's so many rumors and conspiracy theories that go with CERN, and they're playing God out there. They're playing with things that could rip a hole in the fabric of time and space. All right, I don't think they should even be doing what they're doing. But here's the thing, people. I'll just tell you the story. This video circulated online in 2016. It shows several individuals in black cloaks gathering in front of a statue of the Hindu deity Shiva in what appears to be a reenactment of an occult ceremony. The video includes the staged stabbing of a woman. It is filmed from the perspective of a secret viewer watching from a window above, who, as the ceremony reaches its climax, lets out a string of expletives and flees with the camera still running.
Yes, this is why this video is muted. You can't actually hear the ritual going on. All you can hear is the guy filming it dropping F-bombs every few seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, right? So this is crazy, all right? And they're like, hey, man, we just acted like we stabbed her, we staged it. Yeah, that's what a freaking ceremony is. I mean, that's like you watch the cremation of care stuff that when they snuck in, and filmed it. This is one of those things. There is something not right about this. These are employees, okay? And this was like, oh, well, letting off some steam or whatever. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not normal letting off steam.
No, this is not the Christmas party gone awry, I sure hope Bob don't have that video of me getting sacrificed last year. You know, it's just, what are you doing that for? Why do you even have Shiva out there? You know, I mean, seriously, it's. So
that's when he freaked out because it looked like he really stabbed that girl.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I've not really seen anything against this video, like saying it was. I've seen people play it down like, oh, they were just like you said, they're just blowing off steam.
No, this is absolutely authentic.
Blah blah. Yeah.
This is there is absolutely nobody out there because it's not fake. It's not set up or anything like that.
Right.
This is authentic, and they just have to play it off like, oh man, you know, no, that ain't like that.
Well, and I did see one person questioning, because people always question, why are you filming? Like that's always the first question people ask. Why would somebody be filming? But I think that whoever's filming can probably see the people like off camera here. It's very dark through the camera, but because they're in black robes and they enter in from this way, so there's a good chance that whoever's filming saw them way back here. Yeah. Before they got into frame.
Or this wasn't the first time something had happened.
Right, and they were just trying to catch.
You know, or that they work on the same level, and it's the weird ones that stick together, and this person's new, and I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, right?
Yeah, there is.
But I would have filmed it.
But again, this is one that was never said, that it wasn't real. I mean,
so this guy might have thought some Eyes Wide Shut stuff was getting ready to happen. Be like, hell yeah, I like your little mask.
This is true. This is true.
But you know. I don't know. That was just too weird for me.
It is. It is very weird, and it's definitely belongs on a list of weird videos for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we go to this next one here, which this was another one that, you know, everybody who's longtime listeners of the show, you know, we've had Nick Redfern on several times to talk about the Men in Black, and we've discussed it even with our friend David Weatherly, you know, when, you know, talking about black-eyed kids and stuff, just because it's in that same neighborhood of weird. This is one of my favorite videos just because of it may be capturing the actual Men in Black on film here. So the story is, in October 14th of 2009, two witnesses claimed to have seen a large triangular-shaped object hovering above the hotel that they were staying in at the time. The pair reported the strange occurrence to the authorities, and a short time later, two mysterious men dressed in black suits visited the hotel, looking for the witnesses. This footage from the lobby security camera of the hotel shows the men walking into the building. The men asked to speak to the guests that had witnessed the event, but were told by the staff that they were no longer there. The staff members that spoke to the men said that they were very pale, had no eyebrows or eyelashes, and that they even looked completely identical. One female staff member even said that it looked as though both men's hair was fake, as if they were wearing wigs to cover the fact that they were bald. The staff member also claimed that both men had very large, deep blue eyes, and that the entire time they spoke to her, they never blinked a single time.
Oh, that's creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah.
So this video, it's slowing it down so you can see them walk into the lobby again. They've played it forward and backwards now. So here they come, and dressed like typical Men in Black. Very strange. Yeah, that's a strange video.
Yeah, no, it is. And they even look, I mean, it looks freaky. Like it doesn't look like the features are correct, you know?
Right.
It's just very strange to me, man. And it always has been.
Oh, I like this next one.
Oh, I love this next one.
Yeah, so let me pull the video up of this next one because it's so amazing. Now, this next video, I had trouble finding some original footage of this, but I found this on a news story from CNN. So it's muted, so we can't hear the news story because they're gonna, try and explain it away. But I just wanted everybody to see the actual footage of the really cool looking, phenomenon.
So his Dark Materials, baby. This is what this is. Being able to see the other city in the cloud. And this is one of the ones I've talked about so many times, the floating cities in the clouds. This is something that, there is a phenomena that does happen, and, it's reflective of what's going down below. And at least they say that. They also say there's the phenomena that explains UFOs, right? Swamp gas and ball lightning and all this stuff, In fact, if you see ball lightning, you're probably more gifted than you are to see a UFO because it's that rare. I always love this, and obviously this is the famous floating city in the clouds. This is not just the first time this has happened, man, or the last. And I like the fact that you look at it, and that one looks like the Chute City. Sometimes I see one that looks like a castle, almost like it's different time periods. It's very strange. This was in late 2015. Residents of the city Foshan in China were alarmed when a floating city suddenly appeared in the clouds above them. The buildings and skyscrapers were fully visible for a few minutes before fading away, allowing people to capture pictures and videos of the bizarre event. Some speculate that the city's appearance could be evidence of Project Bluebeam, while others believe it could be looking into a parallel dimension. Those others would be me. I believe the parallel dimension part, and I also believe time. You know, because like I said, I've seen it where it looks like castles and stone buildings and stuff.
Right, and so a lot of times the skyline doesn't even match up with whatever's close by. I did go to this YouTube channel and look for this, but I couldn't find it there. So I don't know what's happened to the original like story from it. So
yeah, I mean, this is one of those that was all over the place at first, and you know,
and there's more than one story.
Yeah,
this has happened, especially in China. It's happened several times, and like you said, it looks different every time, but it's always floating up in the sky like that, and it's always this amazing skyline. And the people, what gets me is everybody's like, oh, it's just this phenomena, but the people that live there are surprised to see it. Like they've never seen that sort of thing before.
Yeah,
so
you can say it's just this phenomenon or whatever, but you know, if you walked outside and seen many floating cities,
no, never,
you know.
So
this next one, this is probably one of my favorite videos out there, but it's definitely my favorite one right now.
Yes, I believe this is our number one, in fact.
Yeah, so Mr. Carter has joined us in the chat there.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
And so for those of you that are downloading this, or just, I'm just going to go through so Teleporting Man sounds like something we'd watch on Mystery Science. This footage was taken from a dash cam somewhere in Russia. As the traffic is driving along, a semi-trailer suddenly begins to swerve, nearly colliding with oncoming traffic. At first, it's difficult to see why the truck swerves, but the answer becomes apparent. A man wearing what looks to be a lab coat seems to appear out of nowhere. Several theories have attempted to explain this bizarre event. It has been suggested that the man could be a scientist from the future who miscalculated a time travel teleportation. What's really strange is the relaxed and almost robotic reaction of the man after his near-fatal miss. He simply turns, put his hands in his lab coat pockets, and calmly walks off the road, which is one of the things that's always screwed with me the most. This is just one of those videos that's total WTF. I mean, how the hell is that guy where he's at? You know, how did he get that close? I mean, and it's not like those cars are not I mean, that happened. That totally happened.
Right. Because they wouldn't have swerved if he wasn't there. Now, it does look like, see, there's something here, but it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. He's just there, and he doesn't get hit, and there's truck is right there in his face, and he's so calm. Why is he so calm? I mean, I would be flipping out if I almost got hit by a truck.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's crazy.
I don't know. I always loved it. It's very strange, very crazy.
And boom, there he is.
Yeah, it's just one of those weird ones, man. And that's what it's all about. But yeah,
one thing I love dash cams for is because, you catch some really weird, unusual things that you would never expect. Every day. That's one thing of beauty about dash cams. It's just talking. We've noticed that, it's just one of those, every day there's new videos of something weird, somebody appearing in the middle of the road. There's a lot of these kind of videos happening here recently, by the way. If you look around, we're seeing a lot where people just appear halfway across the street, right? And no reason whatsoever for that to happen. And very strange. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe those videos because it's so easy. And that's the problem where we live, and the age we live in is people love to do that stuff. And I wish they were all shot in the head for doing it. As soon as you find out, like, oh, you hoaxed that, and it would end it real quick. But what's up, Cody? But yeah, it's really cool, and I love that video just because it's so freaking bizarre. But it's not anywhere near as bizarre
as Stacey Edwards. And, I think it's time for Stacey Edwards and her weird ass to have some paranormal news.
All right, guys. So we're going to do some paranormal news and hit a couple of really good stories. So this first story is about our interstellar object, Oumuamua.
Oh, Muamua.
That's the name of it.
Oh, Muamua. We can't get rid of you. We try.
Right. So now this story came out a while back that I didn't really cover because it was just a study done by some scientists that were claiming that Oumuamua was hydrogen ice. And, our favorite scientist, the Avi Loeb guy, he's the one from Harvard,
right,
that was out in... He said that he did the study saying that, hey, let's not rule out that this could be alien tech.
Right. Absolutely.
So then this next study came out, and it was some guys talking about how it was published by these guys named Seligman and Laughlin. And they made some observations, and they claimed that the interstellar object was made of hydrogen ice. And the reason that it had its forward thrusting motion, the part that's really... confused everybody, like the reason that it has this extra oomph on it is
That's always the part that confuses people.
Is because it would
like,
melt.
Why you got that extra oomph? I understand the rest of it. It's just that forward thrusting motion's kind of... Don't worry, baby.
It was releasing hydrogen gas, and that's what was propelling it forward, and that hydrogen gas, pure hydrogen gas, would be undetectable from Earth, and that's why we didn't see it. So this story, I had to get this story because our friend Avi Loeb decided he was going to test that theory and see how that held up.
Gas and see
how that held up. So, he co-authored this new paper, and he said that, they were suspicious about the hydrogen iceberg theory, and they claim, according to their study, that it is improbable that it could be a hydrogen iceberg because it would not have lasted. It would not have made it to our solar system. It would have broken up and melted long before it got here. And the study was assuming that this hydrogen iceberg could have been made in a giant molecular cloud. But the closest one to us that would have been dense enough for this to possibly be made, they're not even sure that it can be made, is still so far away that it would not have made it to our solar system. So there is still a chance, this is what they said, that Oumuamua is alien technology. They are not giving up on their alien technology.
Well, I mean, it was so weird,
Mm-hmm.
It came out of nowhere. We need to write a song for it. It's like, you came from far away, confused all the ones who say you're not real. But it came from out of the. It was the first thing ever, the first interstellar traveler we've had. Yeah. And so whether it was a rock or dinosaur dung, which would be really cool. Like if there's still dinosaurs somewhere and they're like, how do we let them know that we still live here? I don't know, T. Why don't you poo and throw it in the air? And, we had this T-Rex poo coming.
That's a big poo.
Well, yeah, maybe they escaped. Maybe they all didn't die. And they're on another planet, right?
Maybe.
And it took them 65 million years to get there.
Maybe they were like, forget this planet. It's going to the dogs. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Like the damn reptilians moved in.
They went underground. We don't know what they're doing down there.
I think they're forming political parties. That's all we know. Eating babies. That's what they're doing.
Oh, wow.
Babies. Get in my belly.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's move on to the next story. So this next one is going to be a story from Iceland.
I love Iceland, by the way.
I know.
Iceland's on the top 3 places I would move to right this second.
And now this is a video that was posted on Instagram by this rapper, this female rapper from Iceland. And
Jesus Christ, can we just stop right now and only listen to her for the rest of the show? I want the female freaking rapper from Iceland.
Right. And
it's like, yo, y'all. Yo. I have my homie in the back say, come on, yeah, my name is Floya, and I'm here for ya. That's right.
So her name is, let me put this story up so people can see it. So her name is Vigdis Hauser. I can't even
Let me see.
say it's right here. It's on the screen. See, Vigdis Hauser.
I can't believe you
Jarjotir.
You disrespect my people. My God.
So she goes by Fever Dream Official on Instagram.
Hey, listen, speaking of fever dreams, calm your tits for a second. Vigdis Hauser. Now I sound like a Nazi.
You do.
Hello, Vigdis Hauser. We see that your swine is sort of sad. Yeah, so Vigdis Hauser. So fever dream. We'll just.
Yes, she goes by Fever Dream Official.
Fever Dream Official.
On Instagram.
Not to be confused with the unofficial Fever Dream.
She has this video, and I'm going to go ahead and play it for you here. I hope we can see it okay. And sorry, it's a waterfall. So you see this weird thing here? Claims she doesn't know what that is, but then look, the little blip of it there. Isn't that weird? I'm going to pull it up on Instagram because I think it plays better on Instagram.
I mean, it played pretty good right there.
Yeah, so what
Just
it is,
play
it's
it,
this
play
little black thing going on here.
The little black thing on the stars today. Let's see. So yeah, man, that is
And then look, I don't know what that is either. Isn't that weird?
So you're not going to get this news anywhere else. Listen, I guarantee you that none of your other paranormal people actually peruse Icelandic newspapers. So guess where these stories come from? Yeah, I'm the one that finds these. I actually read the Icelandic and Norwegian and all that stuff. I read those newspapers and the online and stuff just because, you know, I like it.
Now, she does claim, if you notice here in her post, she claims that it's close to the capital city of the elves, Aspergy. I don't know if that's
the elves are going to come take you.
I know. And she said there was no people
What
in
did you
front
call
of
it?
It was her.
Say it again, lady. Say it again.
It was her
We listen to you
voice.
all the time.
And she claims that there was nobody in front of them and that the cliff here was too steep for people to be climbing on it anyway. And there is an article somewhere, like an interview with her, where she was not claiming that what she filmed was some kind of elf, but that it was just really freaky and she didn't know what it was, and so she wanted to post it.
Let me watch the elf again.
You want to watch it again? Okay, here we go.
Come on, man. That is like,
Who?
oh wow. You know, that's crazy. I mean, it looks like it's got a little dude.
I have no explanation for that at all.
Well, you know, look where they're at though. I mean, if you guys don't know, in Iceland they'll move a damn road
They will.
for the elves.
Well, they won't build it.
They won't build
They'll
it.
like put a big curve in it or go around or
Yeah.
And you know, we had that story about that farm where they did the exorcism because they were going to build the power plant, but they did the plans around the elf hill that was there, and then they did the exorcism, and then they like offered tribute.
There's so many
all that
stories,
stuff,
so many stories, and it's always like just insane there. I mean, if you disrespect, you're gonna get screwed. I mean, it's so, and it's like that in a lot of the older countries that, you know, where they still respect what you should respect.
Right.
I don't know, respect the magic. You know, it's well, you know, Michelle says that it looks like a bat, and it very well could be a bat.
It could be. It could be some kind of weird animal or a plant or something that
Yeah,
was just on the side of the cliff.
I even thought the plant thing. You
Yeah,
know,
like a
that it
tree,
could
maybe.
have been, or it could be a freaking elf warrior. That what?
That we've caught him in the middle of some kind of cliff battle.
I hope
Something.
Jesus.
I don't know what's going on.
I hope it's a cliff battle. So yeah, I mean, it could be anything. You never know, but isn't it wonderful that they put it up there?
Yes.
So
Yes.
all right.
All right, so let me find this next story. I love this next story. It is about some rare artifacts that were discovered beneath the floorboards of a Tudor attic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really, really
Wow.
interesting.
How did, I mean, What makes you think to look under the floorboards?
I believe they were renovating.
Oh, okay.
They were just renovating.
Makes you just want to pull up all the floorboards on it, like everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
just
like I felt.
pull up all the floorboards.
I was watching these toy videos, and I think I talked about this, but it really upsets me that this kid goes into Target and he lifts up the bottom of these.
Like the shelves,
the gondolas,
metal shelves,
right?
Yeah.
So he lifts them up, and there's like old toys down there. He's like finding like 15-year-old toys, and then going up and buying them.
Makes you want to do it.
And
do you think they'd look at you weird if you just went to Target and started taking their shelves apart?
I never would have thought about hiding a toy there.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's good. That's my new layaway plan now.
Just start hiding them.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide it like in the lingerie section or something. So.
All right. So this story is about this Tudor Mansion, and see, they're doing renovation work.
Maybe the bat was fighting the elf warrior. Maybe
it's not an elf warrior. Maybe it's an elf bat exterminator.
No, see, you just took that really in a bad place. Me and Michelle, we had something going. See, this time I was zoomed in with Michelle here in the chat room. She had your back last week. Raven, poor thing, just caught up with. She probably wondered what the hell we're talking about.
She's like, I don't see a waterfall. I don't know what's happening.
She's watching the guy like at the truck. She's like, is he an elf? It's just could be. Elf Bat Warrior. That's gonna be like my new. That's my new handle.
There you go, Elf Bat Warrior.
Elf Bat Warrior 1.
All right, so this is Oxburgh Hall, and it's a house in Norfolk.
Oh, it's got
England.
a moat.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's currently undergoing major renovations. And as part of the £6 million roof restoration project, they had to lift the floorboards in the estate's attic for the first time in centuries. And so when they got in there, they discovered a veritable treasure trove of more than 2,000 items dating as far back as the 15th century.
Like 15th century sex toys.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I wonder what they use this for. Is it a banister? Sir, I think you might want to drop the banister.
Yeah, just don't touch that. Don't touch that. Hand sanitizer. So they said among the discoveries, there were the nests of like some long gone rats. Some rats had made nests under there, and they had built their homes out of scraps of like silks and wools, leather, velvet, satin, embroidered fabrics.
Like the mummy, the shroud of a dead rat? Or?
No, this is actually one of the more impressive finds. This is a fragment of a Bible, like a long gone, like 15th century Bible. See, a 15th century illuminated manuscript page is what they found. And they said they found 450-year-old fragments of handwritten music and parts of a book. And one of the builders recently found the rest of the volume, a relatively intact 1568 copy of Catholic martyr John Fisher's The King's Psalms. And it was in a hole in the attic. So one of the really interesting stories about this house is it was built in 1482 by this British nobleman named Sir Edmund Bedingfeld. And
what a name.
Yeah, I know, Sir Edmund Bedingfeld.
Look, we've been wanting a new dog. I am buying a freaking basset hound tomorrow, and I'm going to name him Sir Edmund Bedingfeld.
Okay. I think that's a great name. Well, apparently Sir Edmund Bedingfeld's ancestors, his descendants, still live in the house.
Oh, wow.
So it's been one family since 1482. And the family were devout Catholics. So in 1558, like after Elizabeth I succeeded to the throne in 1558, they were ostracized for their faith because she was a Protestant queen. Of course, yeah. And a year after she ascended to the throne, the Sir Bedingfield, he refused to sign something called the Act of Uniformity, and that outlawed Catholic Mass. And so during this period, a lot of Catholic clergy, they were imprisoned, they were tortured, they were killed, and a lot of Catholic families, like really devout Catholic families, would hide things in their attics. So, that book hidden in the hole in the wall, and they would have secret, like illegal Catholic Mass in their attics and things like that. And in fact, they have these things, they're called priest holes.
Wow. Father Johnson had one of those too. I just had all kinds of flashback memories.
They would hide actual clergymen in the priest holes.
Oh my God.
They would hide there so that they wouldn't,
Are you on the other side of the wall,
be
darling?
imprisoned.
Yes. Well, I'm still up here. Are you near the priest hole? I am. Are you ready for communion? So you're terrible. You're the one that got laughing about it.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. It's because I
freaking-
knew what your response was going to be.
Freaking lightning's going to strike. This is why the stream went down.
Well, so
God knew ahead of time.
They believe that since the family was such devout Catholics that they probably would have had, this priest hole, they probably would have had these religious artifacts in the attic to do the illegal mass. And this is a picture here of Sir Henry Bedingfeld, the one that built the house. And they also found this it's an empty box of chocolates. It still had all the wrappers, but all the chocolates, of course, were gone. They uncovered fragments that they thought came from a 1590 edition of a Spanish chivalric romance book.
Wow.
It was called The Ancient, Famous, and Honorable History of Amadis de Gaul.
Pages were stuck together.
Supposedly, during that time, Catholics often read Spanish romances because they had references to Mass and other Catholic themes.
Just anything they can
like
get
that.
their hands on about Mass.
I suppose. So they found scraps of newspaper and cigarette packets, and just the whole thing was just amazing, all the things that they found. And that was the rest of that
Sounds
book
like
that
somebody
they found.
needed to clean under the damn floor.
Well, I mean, why would you go in your attic and pull up the floorboards? I mean, that's just not something that you do normally.
No, I mean, not normally, but now you need to.
And
Listen,
it just so happens.
Again, in the chat room, Michelle's talking about, and it's something we talk about all the time is the difference in history, right? The difference in historical from being in the States and being, overseas. And the funny thing is we have a ton, like a shit-ton. And that's a unit of measurement here at the Paranormal Sideshow. For anybody new,
Right.
The shit-ton is definitely one of our measurements. But we have a shit-ton of listeners from the UK and Germany and just all over the place, man. It's just all over the world. We love looking at the map and all this stuff, but it's funny because I have to catch myself with the historical part of things, because if we get excited, like, oh, hey, this house is built in the 1700s, and it's just well, yeah. So if you did notice, that last story was from the Smithsonian. So it's just, again, chat. I meant to say that a second ago. It's like, God knows where all this stuff is now.
Right. Who knows where it ends up.
I'm gonna write a fanfic after this just for the show. It's gonna be elf warriors versus priest holes. It's like they're gonna save us from the priest holes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to another discovery. Maybe not quite as impressive as, or old, because it's not England, but this is about some mysterious underground rooms that were discovered under a historic Michigan building.
Oh.
Because, Michigan, it's kind of weird.
Michigan. Again, for anybody new to the show, probably a year ago, 2 years ago maybe, one of our devout listeners was from Michigan, and we have a lot of freaking Michigan people, man.
We do.
But one of them, was like, hey, Michigan's nothing weird ever happens in Michigan. You always talk about Michigan being weird.
Right.
So
right.
Ever since then, anytime we have a story that is from Michigan, I'm like, and then this week in Michigan, where nothing strange ever happens.
We like to point it out. We like to point out the
but
weird stuff.
every freaking week, there is a Michigan story.
Yes.
There is. You can find one every week. And if you don't find one, you could just call John Tenney, and I guarantee you he'll have one.
He has a filing cabinet, I think, doesn't he?
Just Michigan.
Whole filing
I'm sure he has
cabinet
a filing house.
Probably. All right. So this is a story about the 3-story commercial exchange building. It was built in 1895, and that was after a fire, leveled this structure that was built in 1885 to the ground. So while they're doing this renovation work, they were out in back, and they had a piece of heavy equipment, and it started to sink into the ground. And so they moved the equipment, clearly, and when they investigated, they discovered a ton of areas where you could get down under the ground. And there were holes there. There was 2 rooms not being used. And I'm going to see if I can find the story where I have the pictures. I don't know if I have all the other pictures because it was a pay site that I had to get them on. But they have no idea what these rooms were used for. It says one room was 12 feet by 14 feet and the other was 12 by 17. And it says the walls of each room are made from the same concrete blocks as the building, and one room has a 28-inch long chute in one of the rooms. So they say it's unclear how they were used. Now, my initial thought when I first read the story was that it was like a coal thing. Like normally they have basements where you have the coal chute, and that's where the heating and that sort of thing would go.
Right.
But when you look at the pictures, which I've pulled us back up, I'm going to try and find these pictures for you really quickly. The hidden rooms, the underground rooms, are not under the building. They are behind and just under the ground. And so they're a little bit strange that they, why would it be, unless it was part of that original building? I don't know what they would have been used for. I don't know if it would have been a coal chute or anything like that. Apparently there's nothing in the rooms, really. They're just there and they have no idea why. It's very strange. It's a mystery.
That don't feel good.
And there's not like any kind of heating equipment down there. Like there's just nothing. They're just empty rooms, and nobody even knew they were there. There was no record of them. They were just under the ground.
I don't like it.
You get a bad feeling, huh? Bad vibe.
A vibe, yeah.
Yeah. So
my vibe is fine.
Now, I think they are going to maybe dig around a little bit, see if they can find anything else, any other clues. This guy is brave here, just, going down in there in that little hole. But apparently the heavy equipment was sitting here and it started to sink, and that's how they found these.
I wonder if the camera guy's brave that was already down there and took the pictures of the guy.
He's up here.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
So, I don't know. Very
I was all
strange,
by myself.
Very strange. It's an interesting old-looking building. Like, it's amazing and historic. But they just have no idea how these rooms were used. So it's a mystery.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. That when, God only knows.
Well, hopefully, maybe we'll get a follow-up story where they found some, bones, or they found, artifacts, or they found
hopefully
something. Not hopefully they found bones, but hopefully they find something.
I hope they find some dead children in there. Yes.
I didn't say that.
Careful, your witch is showing.
I didn't say that about children.
No, you wouldn't do that.
No,
not for no good reason.
No.
I mean,
there'd have to be, like a volcano involved or something.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's a volcanic sack. Don't you throw things into the volcano to appease the gods? Isn't that how that works?
No, it's I get the wrong heritage here. We just killed people and left them laying, and so.
All right, so let's move on and talk about Elon Musk.
Zaddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a picture of your boy here. There he is. There's your Elon Musk. All right, so remember we did a story a while back saying that Elon Musk was going to reveal something about his Neuralink chip on the 28th.
Yes.
He was going to have this amazing, presentation on the 28th about the Neuralink chip, and apparently it's revealed that it's going to be a working version of the brain computer chip.
Oh my God.
Now, if you're interested in seeing this, you just come to this article, and all of these articles, I'll put the links in the description of this video. If you're listening to just the podcast, go to our YouTube channel, get in the video description, you'll get the links. But you can see that there's going to be a live webcast of the working Neuralink device.
Oh my God.
And all you have to do is go to Neuralink's YouTube page. There's a link here in this article. It's going to be this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Dude.
Eastern time. So
I gotta get it. I gotta get it. We gotta get I gotta add him. I want Elon to chip me in the brain.
Well, I don't know how they're going to show us this working chip. Like, I don't know if they've put it on somebody or if it's just I don't know what kind of demonstration it's going to be.
Do you think how soon do you think I would get burned at the stake around here for actually having it?
I have no idea.
He's got the mark of the beast.
It's like you can't see my mark.
So he did say,
it's going to be on Michelle's birthday here from the chat room.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, happy early birthday, Michelle. It's soon.
Yeah.
So
it's a good birthday present with me getting the chip, and then we could do a live show.
Did say.
We don't even have to worry about the stream anymore if I get that. We can just do, I could be like Cyborg.
Right.
And do it all in my head.
Right.
Just be like, next story, please. You can like touch me in the butt, and and come up. And
that would be the way it worked too. You'd be like, put the button in my butt.
oh, yeah. Oh, and my nipples in my butt. It's like you want to tune it in a little bit.
Oh, wow. All right. So he did say that they were just going to get a progress update on the 28th, but apparently the progress update is a working version. So I'm really excited about that.
I always hear that little boy.
I use the video of the little kid going, apparently.
Yeah, the little kid that was definitely on the spectrum, and it was in a cute way.
Yes, he was adorable.
He was like, lived with his grandfather and whatever. He's just like, apparently it was fixed, and apparently, I love the kid.
So hopefully we'll get a chance to tune into that. He claims that they're going to show the neurons firing in real time. They're going to show version 2, and hopefully it's going to be something amazing. I know he's really wanting to push this and get it, get the whole transhumanism
I don't think
going.
we deserve Elon Musk. I don't think people Elon Musk is one of those people that you don't realize what you have. Okay, this guy is out of his this guy's out of his freaking mind.
He is. He is.
I about had a oops, but I mean, this guy is absolutely, and I love him for it. God, I love him for it. I love it when you embrace your crazy.
And he does.
Oh, he does.
He embraces it. He spreads it around.
He ruins his own.
Flashes it out there for everyone to see.
He ruins his own stocks. He, comes out and says, I have too many possessions, and I'm going to give my houses away. I mean, just the craziest stuff. And then the next week it's different. Mm-hmm. And he comes up with, the big tunnel under L.A., which we don't even hear about now. He's going to build the big freaking tunnel. I'm sure he's doing it.
My favorite thing is when he built the flamethrowers.
Oh, yeah.
And then he really sold some. And people really bought them. And he's still amazed that people bought his flamethrowers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Oh my God.
All right, so let's move on to the next story. And this is another mystery. And now this is a mystery that could possibly be just, one of those online weird things. But it's a TikTok video thing that's very strange that someone has been sort of following and making a Twitter thread about it.
Okay. All right, I'm in. I'm in because.
All right, so I'm gonna see if I can pull this up for you. So what's happened is, if you go on Twitter, there's a user. Her name's @Scarblood with 3 O's, and she made this extensive thread through Twitter to explain what's happening from this TikTok account. Now, the TikTok user name was just a bunch of numbers, and the account is technically gone now. Now that supposedly it's been figured out, like the whole code's been figured out. So on this TikTok, they posted all these really, really weird videos. Mm-hmm. And in all the videos, this supposed Twitter user found this code. And it was like, some of them were number codes, some of them were like Spanish codes, some of them were Morse code that had to be translated into this weird on this website that translates Morse code for you. So let me just show you this article. So on this article, it says that the account alerts about something that will happen on August 27th, which is tomorrow. And supposedly there was this warning in all of these videos. Every code, like out of 20 videos, 18 of them had this code. And she was able to crack this code, and supposedly the message was, the truth will be out soon. They're unidentifiable. They communicate. We are lab rats. They are coming. Boeing 777-200ER, August 27th. And that was just the message over and over. And there's no explanation for it. And after she hacked this account apparently and got these videos and supposedly decoded this code, then the TikTok account was deleted. So then there were, I think, a couple other messages that supposedly sort of made a reference to MH370, gave maybe what could be some coordinates but didn't go into that too much. And that was pretty much it. Now, if you go to her Twitter, and here we'll just go to Twitter and I'll show you her Twitter account. It's viral right now. So there's tons of...
That's Twitter.
Yes, it is. There's tons of tweets about it right now. And you can follow along and see what people are tweeting about it. And you can see I've looked at her already. And she's got all of the videos on here. And I'm hoping I can find some of them. Let's see. Let me just go to videos. Maybe you can see some of the weird videos. So see, these are some of the weird TikTok videos that this user put up.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is just very strange. They feature a lot of clowns. They feature a lot of weird music.
The clowns, they lose me at the clowns.
Yeah.
The clowns is very...
I'm not sure what this is. I mean, somebody put some time into this, right?
Yeah.
So they're... You know, it could just be a creepypasta. It could just be an online role-playing, scenario. It could be an ad for an upcoming movie. I don't know. A lot of her, as you can see, all of her posts are in Spanish, and you have to open them individually and translate them to read them. So I have not been through the entire thread. It's very extensive. It's a very extensive thread. But it's just this strange, mystery that's going on. The only thing that makes me think that it's some kind of ad is this article from explica.com listed this under movies. That's how they tag the article. So if it is some kind of ploy to, get, do a movie, then they kind of gave it away here with this article.
or putting it in movies.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what it is.
It's almost October, so
it is. But this is supposed to happen tomorrow. Whatever this thing is, whatever this warning is for August 27th. I don't know the significance of August 27th or if there even is one. So if you're into that kind of thing, that kind of weird thing, the online mystery and the codes, and you want to watch the weird videos, absolutely go to this article. It gives you all the links to where to go, and you can go to her Twitter. You just look her up. It's Scarblood. It's with 3 O's in blood, and all the links are there. What people
Scarblood.
Blood,
yeah,
but with 3 O's. Blue, yeah, I guess it would be blued.
Scarblood. Maybe that's the thing. It's the blued. It's not the blood. They're gonna land here now.
You're from Scarblood. It's where the elf warriors hail from.
But I couldn't let it go by without actually, just in case it's something, just in case tomorrow
the world ends,
something weird happens.
We had it right.
We have to talk about it. We had to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm always all about that. We haven't had a good end of the world conspiracy lately.
No,
you know why?
No.
Because everybody's pretty sure it is.
Or it's already happened or something. Yeah.
I mean,
so
we're here to pipe sunshine in your lives. We don't need a bunch of that damn old, end of the world crap. So.
Well, let's do a little bit better story, I suppose. It's still kind of apocalyptic, but at least it's a little bit of a better story. It's about the ravens at the Tower of London. I love the ravens. Well, apparently the ravens at the Tower of London are bored. They're bored. And the poor bored ravens are starting to stray away from the Tower of London. Now, do you know what happens if all the ravens leave the Tower of London?
Yes, the world ends.
Well, I believe the legend is that the monarchy and the building will crumble if all the resident birds flee the fortress. So according to this article, it's because of a lack of tourists. Normally they have lots of tourists at the Tower of London. The tourists come, they interact with the birds, they feed them. The birds love it because, ravens are incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And that's just not been happening because the tower was closed. I don't know if it's still, I don't think it's still closed, but, tourism is definitely down, obviously. And so they're just bored. They need some interaction. They need some help. Now, these guys in this picture, these are the raven masters. They're the ones that take care of the tower and watch after the birds. And one of them...
Let me see that picture again. Just let me take that in for a moment.
Right.
For those of you not seeing this, you're really missing out. The raven's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? This is my guys.
Yes.
This is Larry, Mo, and curly.
And one of them's named Christopher. So they talked to this one man, Christopher Scaife. He's one of the Raven Masters. And he claims that if the ravens were to leave, the tower would crumble to dust. That is the legend. And I actually follow his page on Facebook. I'm going to show it to you here. You guys can go here. If you just search Chris Scaife 1, he's Raven Master on Facebook, and he puts tons of photos. I love ravens.
Yes, she does.
Love them. He does tons of photos. He does videos with the birds because he's one of the ones that takes care of them. He talks to them by name, and look at these amazing pictures of these awesome birds. And so I love following his page. Every time he updates it, I'm always go over there and look and see, look, they're playing with the ball and stuff like that. So it's really a good Facebook page to follow. It's one of my favorites.
What the hell is that? Oh, okay. Never mind.
The ravens.
All right. It's like, how well does he know these ravens?
So they always have 7 ravens there. They have the 6 required ravens, and then a backup in case they lose one.
It's like, this year maybe I'll be in the lineup.
And I wonder which one's not the starting lineup. But their names are Jubilee, Harris, Grip, Rocky, Aaron, Poppy, and Merlina. I think you see Merlina quite a lot on his Facebook page. I think that's one of his favorites. But they do talk, like this is a video of one of them talking. And I think it says in here that Charles II is thought to have been the first one to insist that the ravens of the tower be protected because he was the one that was warned that the crown and the tower would fall if they left. And that is a very, strongly held belief, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and I love these outfits they wear. I love England. They're so, with their traditions. I love these Raven Master outfits. I think they're
there's
amazing.
Some of them that are like that. And then there's a bunch that are rebellious to that.
I suppose.
So just like anywhere. But
yeah, so if you live in England, if you're anywhere near the Tower of London, go see the ravens. Bring them some food. Talk to them. And I think that you will not be disappointed. I would love to go, especially now if the tourism's really down. Think of all the interaction you could get.
I think that's what's wrong with you here at the place we live now. We've always lived in somewhere close to woods and nature, and so Stacy's always had her raven friend. Well, she had her raven friends when we were in Maine, and the ravens they're just so big, and they loved the family. They'd bring gifts and leave at the door, and then they'd wake us up every morning, all this good stuff. But we always talk to them like they're members of the family. And before that, some of the places we've lived, because we move a lot, but you've got the crows and stuff that we've always made friends with, and I made jokes about this, but it's legitimately the truth. I could always tell where the house was because I could be miles away and see the freaking skies is full of crows, where Stacy'd be out back with the girls.
I know around here whenever we live, more in the south, it's more crows, and there was one time there were so many. I feed them. I would buy peanuts, bags and bags of peanuts, and I would put them outside every day. And I have a whole entire jar of feathers because I love like raven feathers and stuff. And I would just I would put the peanuts out and be like, I'd love to have a feather or two or whatever. And I would find them in my yard and on the doorstep. Sometimes I found them on the doorstep, and I have a whole jar that I keep on my altar with all my bird feathers in it. Right. I love them. So love ravens. Definitely one of my favorite animals. All right, so let's go on to this next story. And this is, again, another mystery. Not super mysterious, but, we don't know what's in it. But it is about a safe. A mystery safe.
The mystery safe.
A mystery safe that was left in a field. And it just had a note on it that said, if you can open this, you can have what's in the safe.
No, that was a demon. That's a devil right there. Because they know we're curious.
They want to know, people want to know what's in the safe. And apparently we are not going to find out because they are going to not open it and keep it as a mystery. So I'm going to go ahead and let me put this story up here.
That's probably the safest thing I've heard in a while.
Well, what happened was it was in this field, and people found it before the owner of the field found it, and they had been going at it with a sledgehammer, trying to open it. They knocked the dial off. They knocked the handle off. They were working on the hinges, and they still couldn't get it open. It's a safe. That's kind of their purpose. And so the owner relocated it to a secret location so that it would not be bothered anymore. Clearly, they are not going to be able to open it with no dial and no handle. And he was thinking about having someone come in to crack it open, but decided that he didn't want to do that he wanted it to remain a mystery so that people could just have their mystery, that they could just wonder. Because once you open it and you see there's nothing in it, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, or I don't know, man. There could be a lot of cool stuff in there. I mean, I would have a hard time not opening that. I mean,
I would too, because I would have to know what was in that particular safe. It would drive me crazy. And let me show you this picture. I do have a picture here. And so this is a picture that they posted on Facebook whenever they first found it. And you can see that the note is there, and it says, you could have this. You can have whatever's in it if you can open it. So I think it says if you can open this, you can have what's inside. I feel like whoever put that there had to know there wasn't anything valuable in it. I mean, why would they leave it there?
Because it's some kind of freaking trick, man.
Is it? Is it?
It's
a
like,
trickster demon.
It's a trickster. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's totally something out of a fairy tale.
Well, how long do you think they'll go without actually opening it? Or do you think they opened it and just didn't tell anybody?
It's hard to tell. I mean, it really is.
I happened to see another post. Like I was looking.
I agree. Drill a hole and stick a camera in there.
There you go. That's a good idea. I saw. I don't know if it was a comment on this particular Facebook post that I'm showing, or if I just saw it in another article. But a person posted a picture of a safe exactly like this and claimed that they had that in their auto parts store since like the 40s or something. Yeah. So it could very likely be a safe from a store.
Leave it to an auto parts store.
Right.
Those guys are crazy.
What do we do with this safe that we don't need anymore? I guess we dump it in a field, and there you go. So interesting mystery. I don't know. I hope somebody opens it eventually. All right. So let's move on, and let's talk about this cool documentary that has been on Netflix now, and it is a short, like 16-minute. Just mini documentary, and it's about a man named John Shepherd.
16 minutes is very short.
It is. It is.
I mean, what the hell could you tell in that time?
Well, here's John Shepherd, and
you can tell
he's a guy, and his name's John Shepherd.
You can tell the story about a man who tried to contact aliens from his grandmother's living room.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So apparently in the 1970s, Shepherd's obsession with this...
I bet he don't have any kids.
Probably not. He, it started garnering a lot of news attention, and he was able to even go on an appearance on the Joan Rivers show to talk about it. And he talked about how when he was a boy in the mid-60s, he lived in rural Michigan.
Nothing strange ever happened in Michigan.
And he was a big fan of like the Outer Limits and things like that. And he decided that he wanted to make contact with alien life forms. And he was just fascinated by the idea of somehow building his own scientific instruments to beam messages into space. And he didn't have a lot of money, so he went to like military surplus stores, and he lived with his grandparents, I believe, and his grandmother was super supportive. Like she really just let him do whatever he wanted, just spent her life savings helping him. And look, you can see here's a picture where he built this huge transmitter.
Oh my God.
In her yard.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And eventually it got to be look at this computer work where he's sitting and there's his grandma just knitting while he's beaming music into space. So,
that's a different kind of special, man. That's really cool.
It's amazing that his grandmother was so supportive of it, And so apparently using a giant transmitter in the front garden, he began beaming music into space for several hours a day, all different kinds. John Coltrane, German experimentalists, Harmonia, Sun Ra. I don't know what that is. something from the 70s. And he just did it every single day, just constantly beaming it out like it was a radio station, but beaming it into space.
Right.
And
I'm surprised they haven't bombed us for it.
and people would drive by, and they would stop and look
I'm
at
here
him
to find the coal train
strange.
and turn it off.
And so this documentary was made by a man named Chris Killip, and he said he was just so intrigued by this story that he took the whole 30-year quest and just put it into this 16-minute amazing documentary telling the whole story. And they talked to him now. They talked to John Shepard now. Apparently in 1998, he had to dismantle his lab. He had a lack of funds. He wasn't able to keep it up anymore. And so he had to dismantle it. He still has all the equipment. It's all packed away in storage. But he, liked to think of it as, a 30-year art project, maybe.
Right.
Some kind of he was very passionate about it, and he hates that he doesn't get to do it anymore. And he never did get any kind of response back. But honestly, I'm not sure. Would you get a response by now? How long does it take to beam music into space and get a response?
I want him to land. I want them to meet this guy. This guy is probably one of the reasons that aliens don't come see us.
There's gonna be somebody's gonna be sitting at SETI in 10 years, and all of a sudden they're gonna get this message, and it's just gonna be like, could you turn that down, please?
Yeah.
Could you play something else?
Has that dude ever heard of Zeppelin? I mean, come on. Jeez.
But I mean, it's cool that he followed through.
I blasted Yanni into the atmosphere
with his dream for so long. So I don't know. I think it's cool. And if you want to check it out, it's called John Was Trying to Contact Aliens. It won't take you very long to watch it. Yeah. It's on Netflix. There's a trailer on the article, and you can just go check it out and give it a watch. I think it's interesting. I like to see people with a lot of passion like that.
I got a lot of passion. Just like that.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are on camera, so just warning you.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go on. We got a few more stories here. So let's talk about this cool thing that is happening in Pleasanton, California. And this is something that they do for their Halloween season. Yeah.
Wait a second.
What?
Pleasanton, California. You know where that is?
No.
Dude, that's where I'm pretty sure that's where they filmed Birdemic.
Nuh-uh, is it?
I swear I think they filmed it in Pleasanton.
It's somewhere in California.
Okay, you go with the story. I got to find this out.
Okay, you look it up. All right, so this is about their Main Street Ghost Walk. And they are going to go virtual with it in 2020 because, Halloween's coming and we're not really going to be able to do a lot because of the pandemic. So they are going to do a virtual ghost walk where you just go online, you pay for your ticket, they'll send you a link to a private, Zoom conference, and you get to follow along as they go on the spooky tour of the local haunts, and they tell you all the stories and they show you all the locations. So it sounds actually really pretty cool as an alternative to actually being able to go, and especially for people that don't live in the area that would like to see the ghost walk. Now, here is your opportunity where you can watch the walk on the computer. So apparently they're going to be doing it from October 16th and 17th, October 23rd and 24th, and on the 31st. So it could be a nice Halloween treat. And when you buy your ticket, which is a tour they've held for over 13 years, they know what they're doing. But they're going to also email you a Ghost Walk companion ebook that has recipes for spooky snacks and Halloween-themed cocktails and mocktails, and some tidbits of the Ghost Walk history and some tips for ghost hunters. If you're into that kind of thing. I don't know if any of our, listeners are, but just in case.
So just so you know, it is only 45 minutes from Pleasanton. So it's totally in the same area that they filmed the classic Birdemic.
Oh, hi, Jeff. Oh, Michelle, we have not watched Birdemic 2 yet. We have it on our watch list, but we just haven't been brave enough to click that button yet.
That is What did we watch the other night on Riff Tracks?
We watched Buffalo Rider.
Oh Jesus! Listen. All right.
I think I need to put our faces back on camera for this. Wait. Okay.
All
okay.
right.
Listen.
All right. So Buffalo Rider. You have to just go ahead and rent it, okay? It's on Amazon, but it's
like
not
$1.99.
It's not free. Mm-hmm. It's $1.99, but you just got to you got to freaking sit there, okay? You got to watch this. Do this for me, please. Mm-hmm. You have to watch Buffalo Rider.
Make sure you get the Riff Tracks version. Don't just watch the movie.
If nothing more than the music, nothing more than the song Buffalo Rider. He's going to do with a woo-gee.
I am pretty sure every animal in this movie was harmed.
Yeah,
that's
one that's one of the riffs. And Jesus. I mean, it is.
Oh, it's interesting.
It's a movie from the 70s, and it is totally from the 70s. Yes. And it's like they just found this hippie, and they're like, "Hey, you want to ride a buffalo?" And then what's funny is when he's riding the buffalo, okay, it's never giving him an easy time, right? I am pretty confident there's people that are getting killed in it, and
wolves are being trampled. It's terrible.
Yeah,
no, it's funny. Dude, you are gonna laugh. You are definitely gonna laugh.
1976 version. It's but yeah, no, it's I'm trying to not give anything away.
No,
but just saying that there's like a raccoon for no reason. There's what's the raccoon's name?
Oh, I don't remember the
Bandit.
Raccoon. Bandit, yes, because it was very
very. So Bandit the raccoon. They nowhere for no reason in the middle of this movie, you meet Bandit the raccoon, and you get Bandit's little story. And the bandit goes on a nice little adventure, and during that adventure, he fights a cougar, and then all of a sudden, it's like the river had a flood, and I don't think they were expecting it when they were filming this.
It was a flash flood.
Freaking Bandit is in the middle of the river, and then they're like, and the narrator's like, and Bandit having a nice little adventure, and Bandit wasn't expecting this. Well, there goes Bandit.
There's just a shot of him.
Yeah, it's just like Bandit's dead, and so they try to pretend, that Bandit is like the next fall. The next spring, Bandit, and it was a whole different raccoon.
Like, guess what? Bandit was a girl.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just
it's fantastic. It's definitely worth a watch.
It's freaking worth your time if you're in the right kind of mood.
Right.
And it's really
it's one
good.
of the laugh out loud riff tracks.
Yeah.
So back to the story.
Yes.
Anyway. So they're going to do the virtual thing. You can go to this article, get your tickets. It's $15 per screen. So, you can have as many people as you want watching your one screen, and you'll get the little ebook and all the information. And I noticed when I was looking at this article, because I got the article for the virtual ghost walk, because I just thought that was a great idea, and I hope more people do that, because that'll just give me something to do the whole time around Halloween, is just do virtual ghost walks for all over the country. That would be amazing. But I saw this article down here at the bottom where it says Pirates of Emerson plans haunted drive-through 2020 in Pleasanton. So the same town is doing one of the drive-through haunted things that we've been talking about. And this is one that I guess that they've done in the past, but now they are changing it to be a drive-through, and it's called Pirates of Emerson. I'm not sure how Halloween themed that is, I guess. But it's something that they've done every year, but they've just changed it to be contactless, and you do the thing where you drive through and you get the audio in your car and you get to enjoy the event. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Did I see something come by that said that Jeff has that movie?
Yeah.
On DVD, owns it?
Yes. Our favorite RIP-er there.
That's interesting.
Mr. Carter, Mr. Jeffrey Carter, friend of the show. He I think he has the non-Riff Tracks version. Jeff, if that was one of your favorite movies as a child, I greatly apologize, and I hope I didn't spoil anything about Bandit. I don't think Bandit was a girl when it started out, and, so I don't know. Buffalo Rider.
All right, so let's move on to the next story. Now, this is just a story that I thought was really funny. And it's about William Shatner. And he wrote an opinion piece, an opinion editorial, an op-ed, if you will. I had to get the if you will in.
If you will.
You forgot to get it.
No, I didn't.
And he is complaining about the officer ranks in the Space Force. This is a real thing. So, the Space Force was created in the division of the Air Force. So they've just let all of the Air Force officer titles transfer over to Space Force. So in other words, you wouldn't have the captain of a ship, you would have a colonel.
Right.
And William Shatner just doesn't think that that's really going to work. He claims that, the entertainment history has had space captains for a lot longer than there's been a Space Force. And he feels that they should adopt.
Is that his quote right there?
The Navy titles, yes.
He said, "Do you know your entertainment space history? Let me show you what I mean. Throughout entertainment history, which precedes actual spaceflight history by decades, we had captains." So that was his actual quote. Sorry.
So he claims that because all of these writers, Gene Roddenberry and all of the people that did the entertainment adopted the Navy ranks, that they sound better, and that's what the Space Force should do, that they should adopt those Navy ranks, because that's what people are used to, which I can't disagree with him. And I think it's funny that he points out that the U.S. Air Force Colonel Steve Austin, who was an astronaut, crashed his ship and severely injured himself. And it cost the taxpayers $6 million to put him back together. The $6 million man.
Yeah, I got it.
And so clearly using the Air Force tags is just not a good thing. It's not lucky. So, and the captain and the colonel, they're equivalent. It's an equivalent rank. It's just a different name because a different branch of the military.
No, I'm with you. It's got to be a captain.
Yeah, I feel like it should be captain, because how can you have all of those space things if you're not like, captain?
Yeah.
Get to the bridge and all that. So.
No, it's got to be captain. I'm totally voting for captain, because Shatner's right. How can you argue with Bill Shatner?
I don't know. Do a lot of people call him Bill, you think?
Yeah. His friends.
Oh, sorry. Apparently I'm not William Shatner's friend.
Hey, remember, I started this whole gig. You came in, a couple years later.
I see.
You didn't get to meet Bill.
No, this is true. I didn't.
So I've got one better than Bill.
Do you?
I started the whole we had the team with Tim Clark. That's like just as good as knowing Bill Shatner.
That's true.
If you know that guy, he could speak fluent Klingon. So I'm good.
All right. Well, I am so sorry.
Lord.
I have one last story. Everybody just saw me do that.
That's probably a good thing. It's freaking over here drinking.
I apologize. I think I need one. I think that's the problem. I'm going to go ahead and do this last story.
Now, this is a last story for those on the normal Paranormal Sideshow. Not if you are a special, really important person. If you are one of the rips and you're on our Patreon. Because if you're on our Patreon, you're going to get something else.
Yes.
And
after we end the stream, we're going to go live on Patreon only and do like another little bit, like an extra.
Yeah, once again, we'll be going dark. I'll pee.
I'll set up.
and then it'll come back.
Okay. So you ready to do this last story?
I'm ready for the last story.
All right. So apparently this is a story. I've got to stop saying apparently now that you've pointed it out.
Oh God, you should go back and count.
I know. It's awful.
Yeah. I've said it before and you didn't pay attention.
Well, I can't help it. It's just one of those words.
I would guess it's 50 or 60 times a show.
Probably. I used to say actually a lot, and I tried to stop doing that.
No, I actually pointed apparently out to you once, and
I know I stopped doing it for a while, but I think I've forgotten.
Oh yeah, you did.
It's kind of like that time when we first started ghost hunting, and I would hum, and I didn't know I was humming.
I swear, it was. People are always like, "I wish I got along like you guys get along," and it's true, except for things like that. You should have seen me. I'm so into my audio. I'm like with ghost hunting or paranormal investigating. my big thing is the audio review. I love it. I find incredible evidence, and we can go into a place where people get 3 EVPs, and I'll come out with like 150 and good ones, quality Class A stuff, and unless you got Stacy. So the first couple of Stacy investigations where it was we were actually on the team effort there, because this was right after Ariana was a baby and she was able to get back into the field.
Right.
And we were on the first couple investigations. I kept finding all these crazy audio pieces of like, I'd be like, if you're here, can you please give us some sort of sign that you're listening? And I'd hear like, and it'd just be like, oh my God, and I was like logging all this stuff down, and one day I'm like, Stace, you gotta listen to this, and usually we have a rule where I don't do that because Stacy can't hear crap. Like I could have something go, I'd eat your soul in hell, and she'll be like, no, I heard a click. Are you talking about the clicks? I heard some click, like click, click, click. It's like, yes,
I'm better now.
I'm talking about the clicks. But anyway, yes. And she was like, oh, that's me humming.
Well, I didn't know I did it at first until I heard it, because I guess I would stand there and when it's very, very quiet, I would hum. And it must have come from just having Ariana. And when I would hold her and try to put her to sleep, I hum. That's why I do that with babies. And so if I'm standing there and it's very quiet, I hum. No, I don't even know that I'm doing it.
It comes from the fact that if you hold Stacy still, something's going to move. It doesn't matter. Something's going to move.
I am a bit fidgety.
So if you put a pen in her hand, it's going to draw. Okay, it's gonna doodle, draw little, like those, the little people that are coming over the ledge. Like you see the little guy and his nose is over the ledge and all that stuff. That's Stacy has drawn so many of that dude that I thought about putting them together and making like some big story about where he's actually climbing to.
He sounds like he's complaining, but this also worked when we first met. If you put a drink in my hand, I would drink it.
Yeah,
because I had it in my hand. It didn't matter if I didn't want it or if I thought I had too much.
So I didn't tell her that for a very long time. And I noticed early on that, hey, I could hand her, Ziggy.
Yes.
So I could hand her, like, it didn't matter. It could be straight wild turkey. It didn't matter. And I'd be like, hey, could you hold this for me? And if it's there, she's going to, like,
I'm just going to drink it. it's there. I have to do something with it.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. She's like that. Me. She's like that about everything, though. So.
Yeah. So when you first played me the humming sound, I was like, that's me. That sounds just like me humming.
It was the biggest
and
fight.
I was like, I don't do that. I wasn't humming. And you were like, you have to be humming. I recorded it. So the next time we went on an investigation, I guess I did it again. You were like, you're humming. I was like, I am not humming.
Yeah.
And
she's like,
clearly I was.
She's like, apparently I was.
I didn't say that. All right. So let's do this last story. And we've done a story like this before. And this is just
don't make her feel good, Raven.
Version of this. That is very true, Raven. I have a very active brain. I am
active,
highly intelligent. And I have to always be doing something.
Yeah, it's active. Let's go to the story on your Miss Active Brain.
So now you can hire a home exorcist to help cleanse and sell your haunted home. Can
I hire that chick that's levitating?
You just want that chick in the room?
Man, you don't understand the sexual undertones that The Exorcist has for me. Like,
I never knew that about you.
Oh God, I can't stand how bad that movie turns me on.
Is this why we don't watch it?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid.
I feel like it was kind of okay when you were a kid, and it's bordering into creepy now.
Well, I feel like she aged with me.
I see.
It was one of those things that it's different. It's like watching Alyssa Milano on Who's the Boss, right?
Right.
Like she was really hot to me then, during her teen steam days.
Right.
And it's okay for me to look back at it and just be like, but I know it's a problem because it's like you see all these documentaries like the scariest movie of all time, and it's just like, dude, I got so turned on when I watched that movie. Like the very first time, it's like when I was a kid, man. I was watching it, and she was just like,
Hey, father, come over here.
And I'm like, I would not make it as a priest.
You do like those very aggressive women.
Yeah. I mean, I do.
Aggressive in the bedroom.
Yeah, I do. I don't care if there's a demon inside them, It's
So Michelle thinks that you've given too much information, which is normal for us.
Sorry.
But
yeah.
I'm sorry, Raven. I won't kink shame.
Yeah. It's a bad one, and I probably shouldn't have said it on the show.
It's okay. It's too late now. We're live.
But especially like when we're at the next convention with Linda Blair. What's funny is, Tim Clark, I talked about a while ago, was always he was on teams with us, and if you guys have listened back at Haunted South, or if you watched any of our documentaries, you've seen Tim. Okay, so he's Tim, the tech guy, and so Tim knew I love Linda Blair. He brought me back this autograph of her being levitated, like that scene or whatever. I couldn't even put it up in the room. And Stacy's always like, "Don't you want to like display that?"
I'm sorry, I'm digging it out now. It's going over the bed.
I'm like, no, let's not display that. Let's just not display that.
You should just tell me. We just hang that thing right up. We'll blow it up. Blow it up big. Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
well, I'm done. I'm
all
out.
right. So there's this company. I feel like we've gotten way off on a tangent here. So there's this company called ISoldMyHouse.com, and they have on their web house here.
Is that a real website?
Yes. And so on their website, there's this page about selling a haunted house, and they have this form you can fill out. I'll go past this list here, where you can get home exorcism service, where if you feel like your home is haunted and you're not gonna be able to sell it, they will connect you with a psychic that will do a Zoom call with you, a virtual call, help you determine if your house is haunted or needs an exorcism. And if so, then they, give you each other's contact information, and you can move forward with services with whoever the psychic or exorcist is. And it's just, a service that they provide for you to help you. So, because they're all about helping you sell your house.
Dude. You know how kids will swat other kids, like when they're playing games?
Right.
We got to figure out what this would be called, but can we swat somebody with the exorcism service? like just randomly get somebody's house address and all that.
Send.
Yeah.
Well, they unfortunately do the Zoom call first, but yeah, I mean, I suppose you can just have people show up at the door. So they say in this article,
dude, you're totally gonna be wearing a little white cotton dress tomorrow, aren't you? With some pea soup on it. When I come home from work tomorrow, I can already see it. They'll be like, "Mama's up in the room. I don't know why."
Are you kidding me? I don't have to brush my hair ever again.
I am going to hide the crucifix when we leave.
So they did this survey apparently, and they say that, I said apparently again, excuse me. They say that 55% in the study of Americans admit to believing in ghosts or spirits. 36% report a paranormal experience. The other 67% are lying.
Wait a second. Are these percentages adding up?
And this is just the percent of people from a study. It's not supposed to equal 100%. There's just this many percent of the people that they asked.
I get it now.
You want to do a survey kind of thing. Yeah. So 61% said they would not buy a home if they thought it was haunted. We are not part of one of that 61%.
I'm surprised that it's just 61%.
I know. And supposedly a home rumored to be haunted will stay on the market 133 days longer than the average home, which is great because that's how we can get them for ourselves. 27% reported a, quote, harmless experience with a ghost or spirit, like seeing something be moved. And 9% said that their paranormal experience was aggressive. Things being thrown.
Physical pain.
Physical pain, yes. And 19% claim to have talked with a psychic or a priest about a supernatural event. Now, I don't know how many people that they, talk to for this particular study. I don't know how scientific this, article is about, sellyourhouse.com or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting that
it's like Michelle there with Zillow for haunted houses. I got to think of a good name for it. But,
that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would.
Mm-hmm. Where if you could all the listings were just reportedly haunted houses. Somebody needs to make that app, that website that could make a killing.
It's so funny. If you ever go with us to look at houses, the poor people that are showing us the houses, I literally take I take a mail meter, and I will take recorders,
voice recorder,
and when they're showing us the house, I tell the real estate agent right off the bat, it's like, I'm going to record in every room, just to see if it's haunted, and it's not a bad thing if it's haunted. We want it to be haunted, but we just don't want. So I still have this audio too. I need to dig this out and play it on the show. I have audio where it was like giving our kids names, and that's like, we're not going to move there,
and at that time when we were buying a house, our real estate agent, she knew all what we were doing, and how she knew when we went in that we just wanted to go in ourselves. Like, she didn't try to show us all the perks of the house. She just went in and she was like, here you go, and we would walk around and do our thing. And there was one house and we loved it. It was great. It was like perfect.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, this house. Let me tell them a little bit.
Yeah.
This house was so amazing because we like Victorians. We like it's just what we like. Old houses. So with some new stuff inside, but there was like this art room, and it was upstairs, and it was this beautiful sunroom that was coming off the bedrooms. The bedrooms were Downton Abbey large, like. They were this super magnificent, large rooms and big fireplaces in every room. And there was like, it was just awesome. There was little nooks and crannies all over the house, and, like a library, a study and stuff. And, one day a week for me is like always from morning till night is #Bruce Wayne job. I got a home office. So it's everything that we need. So we're doing the audio in that place, and holy jeez, you want to tell them what the audio?
Oh yeah, that was the one where it was calling out like our daughter's
name.
And
it was like, it was also like it was like, get the F out of here. And, it was like, I'll kill you.
It was really aggressive to the point that we decided we didn't want to buy that house, no matter how pretty it was.
Yeah, no, it was threatening to kill me over and over and over. Like, this thing was like really, it was almost overdoing it.
Right.
You only have to say it once. You're a freaking ghost. I'm going to listen.
Yes. So another thing on this particular article, on the site that I sold, myhouse.com, they have this list of what they claim are the top 10 haunted states, most haunted states.
Okay, before we get to that, I have to once again go to chat here, and I have to pull out Michelle, who again, the star of the show tonight, right? So we've been saying the names, but she says we lived in a house where the spirit would take all the pictures of me off the walls. And my father, the chief of police, would not stay in the house by himself, and he was scared. Now, see, this is exactly, Michelle, what I'm talking about when I'm asking people to contact me to join us on the show where you talk about the strangest thing that ever happened to you.
Yep.
That's the kind of story right there that would make very interesting episode.
Yes, I think you should get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Let's record your story for our show, because that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so...
No, Jeff, we haven't, but she can also get a hold of us and do the... unless it was meeting us.
Yeah, unless it has something to do with,
Again, everybody, it's listening right now. You guys all need to get... And if you have more than one, and it's hard for you to figure out what your strangest story is, then we'll do 2 parts.
That's right. We'll do them all.
Maybe like us, I wouldn't be able to do one. I'd be like, well, it's my life.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what, we'll give you some of the strange events that's happened to us, and there you go. And I just want to hear from you guys. You guys are what motivates us.
Yes.
And the whole reason that we do what we do, and endlessly always looking for stories and always looking for things from all over the world to make it entertaining for you, is because we love you guys, and we absolutely love you guys, and we want to tell your story. So we just thought it'd be really fun to turn the tables and have everybody out there that has their strange story come on, and we just put a bunch of the stories in a can, and then we'll start putting out the episodes.
Yes, and then they will not record them live. Like, we'll interview you. You get to tell your story. We'll ask you questions, but really we're just going to let you, tell your story, and then we'll put it out at a later time. So you don't have to feel nervous about what you're saying.
This is one of the ones that Stacy cleans up and edits and takes all the apparentlys out of.
Yes.
So go ahead.
All
Top
right.
10.
So I was just going to do this list of 10 states that, according to isoldmyhouse.com, are the most haunted states in the United States. I don't necessarily agree with this list. I don't know how they came up with these, but
you do, because of the ones that had people report haunted houses.
I suppose. So they said number 1 is Kansas.
That makes sense. Supernatural.
And they claim this is true. They claim it's because it's home to Fort Leavenworth, and it's recognized as one of the most haunted military forts in the United States. So Kansas, if you live in Kansas, haunted state. Number 2, Massachusetts.
That one you would just imagine, right?
Yeah, I feel like Massachusetts is definitely one of the most haunted states, just because of all the weird stuff that's there. Number 3 is Texas.
I mean, just the size of it alone. I mean,
number 4 is weird because it says Washington, but when you read the description, it says the old stone house in Washington is the oldest structure in D.C. So I don't think they mean Washington State. I think they mean Washington, D.C., which is not a state.
Yeah, but Washington, D.C. is very haunted, but it's disqualified because it is not a state.
It is not a state. And it does have a lot of history, clearly, and a lot of bad stuff has happened there. So I'm sure it's very haunted. Oklahoma. Sacred Heart Mission and Cemetery can be found in Kanawha.
A lot of western towns in western states.
So it burned down, killing several children. That's awful.
Do they have Philadelphia listed as a state?
They do. Again, I sold my house.com.
Was this written by a 9-year-old?
I think so.
The state of Philadelphia.
I didn't properly vet this list beforehand. It was just in the article, so I thought it was funny. I thought we'll do their top 10. I did catch the Washington thing.
Number 7, the state of Slipknot.
Iowa. Oh, well, because it has the Villisca Axe murder house. I don't think that one house makes the whole state particularly haunted, but maybe it does.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Oh, of course. Kentucky. I'm pretty sure someone from Kentucky just called and was like, you better put us on that list.
Yeah.
Because we're Kentucky. Although Kentucky is pretty haunted.
It's damn haunted.
Yeah, it's got tons of haunted stuff. Tons. Alaska, which, I'm sure there's a lot of haunted stuff there.
I would put it more weird than haunted.
Yeah, and, because there's not as many people there, and a lot of weird stuff. You don't know what happens there. People get weird in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
And they've got number 10 is Colorado because of the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, I'm not down with this list. They don't have South Carolina.
I'm not. They don't have Ohio. Yeah. We have a map of all the weird haunted crap in Ohio.
So look,
it's just
man,
Ohio.
You're missing some big things there. I mean, Jesus, man. The South Carolina is. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't have Louisiana on there.
No, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other states that I think would probably qualify as more haunted.
Just murders alone, Florida has to be on there.
Probably. I would think so.
It's the state of Detroit.
The state of Detroit.
But I tell you, man. So once again, we've had some great news, by the way. If I don't hit my head on this thing again.
Yes, be careful.
So we've had some really good oh my God, I don't know where we got really good fun. We've had a great time on the show. We've had
some interesting revelations come up.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh.
What happened?
You're going to talk about that from now on, aren't you?
No, I was just saying.
I'm honest with the people. Right. You know how I am. I told you a long time ago. 10 years ago when we started doing this show, I said, we're never going to bullshit the people.
This is true. You did say this.
And I want to always whatever we're feeling.
There's a difference between being honest and telling them everything.
Well,
like your weird fetishes and such.
I didn't mean for that to come out. It just had the girl levitating and, I've also got something for hypnosis. So.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will. Anyway, oh my God. So as we go on with this, we're trying to make it more and more like the normal show with the edits and all this stuff. And so you're trying to do it as smooth as you can. And you fail miserably. So I appreciate the patience of all you guys as we're trying to work through, because every week we've got okay, we're not going to do this time.
Right.
We're not going to do this. We got this. This will be a smooth transition on this part. So we're getting there, right?
We are.
And this one we had a couple hiccups that weren't our fault at the first. with a lot of windows open and whatnot. So it's all good.
Lesson learned.
It's all good, and every time we learn a little bit more. But we really appreciate your patience as we're getting through it. Next show we have will be that much smoother, And don't forget though, listen guys, you can join us at Scarefest this Saturday. We're gonna be, bored to tears from 12 to 6. Maybe
we'll play The Exorcist in our booth.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
So we're gonna. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I just saw Michelle's comment.
So we're gonna be there, and you can join us from the luxury of your own home. I think it's actually 12 to 8 will be.
It's 12 to 8 is for the entire CyberCon, and then
come cyber with us.
Yes, we'll have our talk at 5
this Saturday, and we think you'll enjoy. The actual presentation. We put a lot of work into it, and of course we're working on the book right now. And the book is it's somewhat the same thing that we're working on. And we'll be able to use some of our pictures and everything that we've used. But it's very, very interesting, the subject matter with the giants and all this stuff. So we actually have to be serious and during that part. But the rest of the day we won't be too serious. But come by, join us, and meet some people. I don't think it's actually much at all to get a whole pass for a day.
No, I think it's just a few dollars.
Yeah, so be a lot of fun, and then of course you'll see us again next Thursday on our new and normal stationary night. Will be every Thursday. So we're going to be every Thursday at 9 p.m.
9-ish.
At 9-ish p.m. to whenever the hell we get done.
Right.
And then of course after the show every week you're going to have the Paranormal Sideshow RIP.
Yes.
So, and we'll be having that here in about 5 minutes. So, for my lovely wife, Stacy, my name's John. So long from the Sideshow.
Good night.